I remember one company I worked with, they wanted to create a recommendation engine that every day when the customer came back onto their website, an e-commerce website, they would get a list of recommendations. It's not an unreasonable request. It's not an unreasonable function to have, but to move the data to allow the recommendation to work took them 28 hours. Well, you can't do that if you want a 24-hour answer. And it wasn't, I mean, it was a really cool company. It was doing really well. But just that lack of foresight on the data, how you're storing it, where it's stored, how you're moving it, and meant that their infrastructure was completely incapable of allowing them to run a 24-hour process to recommend a new product to a client because the data took 28 hours to move. And it's like, okay, well, we can make it every 2 days, they'll get a different recommendation. Well, now you're impacting on your customer engagement, your customer satisfaction, your profitability, your revenue, because if it's the same thing I'm getting recommended twice, I might not come back till next week. So you all of these things impact on it. So how you store your data, where you're storing your data and making sure that it's available is key until, in fact, it's not until, it's now. So that as you start moving into more and more AI, more and more usage of your data, you can actually use it. The other thing that I included in that article was actually sovereign cloud. And I like the word sovereign, even though it talks about nation state, as opposed to enterprise cloud. I like sovereign cloud because it has an extra level of security in it. So I like the idea of a sovereign cloud for a company, an enterprise, because you can get access to all of the publicly available data, but your data, your competitive advantage is within your own sovereign cloud. No one else can access it, but your AI can. If you have DeepSeek or Llama or any one of the open source models that you can use, you can run it against the public data that you have, but you can also run it against your own corporate competitive advantage data. But you can only do that if you've got your data in the right places, in a secure environment, you know how you're doing it, and you're setting yourself up today. Because in fact, you should have set yourself up a year ago when everyone started talking about it. But hey, we're here today, so you need to set that up today so that you can access it next year.